just in case you stop remembering. So, you have two functions f and g there beside the number minus 2. The g is closer to minus 2. This makes g the inner function and f the outer function. What essentially means is do g first and do f with the answer you get. Okay, that's all it means. So, do g minus 2 first. Get an answer of 6. And when you're done, do f6. And that's you done. Okay? So, it should be relatively easy. And f6 is 2 times 6, take away 1. And you should get an answer of 11. Okay? From a mapping diagram point of view, it looks like this. You have an input of minus 2. You send it through the g function, and then it turns into 6. Then you send it through the f function, and it turns into 11. Okay, that's all that happens there. In the next question, we're going to do f of a half first. You're going to do f a half first, and then with the answer, you're going to insert it into the g function. And you should get an answer of 0. And then you're going to do g0 when you're done. And g0 is 2 times, no, 0 squared plus 2. And pause. This leads you to part 3 and part 4, which are considered the more difficult parts, okay? And it's very simply, whichever part is closest to the x is the function you use first. So f blank equals 2 times blank, take away 1. But what's in the blank is gx. Okay? And instead of writing gx, why don't you just put in what gx is? And gx is actually x squared plus 2. So it's 2 times x squared plus 2, take away 1. And that will make it 2x squared plus 4, take away 1. Which makes the answer 2x squared plus 3. Is that right thus far? Very easy stuff. Then g after f of x is the same deal. We get the g function. And we leave it empty. And then we're told we're to put in the fx function, which is this function here. And then the fx function is 2x minus 1. So this results in being 2x minus 1 squared plus 2. You got to square that out. And there's your answer. Okay, right. Now in part 3, what we have is, for what values is g f of x equal to f g of x? So the answer for f g of x is this, that one's the same as that one. This one is the same as this one. So just put them equal to each other, and we should get 2x squared plus 3 is 4x squared minus 4x also plus 3. The plus 3's cancel. And here I'm going to get 0 equals 2x squared just minus 4x. Is that right? And then put the 0 over the other side, and then just factorize out 2x, and you get 2x into x minus 2. Either x equals 0 or x equals 2. You're done. Alrighty. Okay, two functions f and g are defined by f of x equals 2x plus 3 and g of x equals 2x minus 3. Find the expression for f g of x. Okay, this means the f function, which is 2 times something plus 3. The input you're looking for is g of x, and we know that g of x is 2x minus 3. So I'll just undo that, and then just put in 2x minus 3 like so. And it should come out as 4x plus 3. So it's 4x minus 6, and then that's, sorry, 4x minus 3 for f g of x. The other one is g f of x, which means it's the g function using f of x as an input. So the outer function is g, which means the input is f of x, which is 2x plus 3 and 2x plus 3. And that's going to be 4x plus 3, is that correct? Good so far? Alright. Finally, multiply both answers by each other and determine the least possible value of the product. Okay, so multiply 4x minus 3 by 4x plus 3, and I'm thinking we're getting a difference of two squares, which would be 16x squared minus 9. What's guaranteed about x squared? It's always positive, 0 or positive. So what's the minimum value going to be? Min value when x equals 0. And what happens when x equals 0? The min value will be minus 9, because it'd be 6 times 0 squared minus 9. Alright. Okie dokes. So, fg of pi over 6, the g function is whatever your input is plus pi over 6. It then tells you that the input is pi over 6. So you do pi over 6 plus pi over 6. You can use your calculator if you want, but it should kick out pi over 3, did it? Then this whole part here, this whole yellow section in there is now turns into f pi over 3. Means sub in pi over 3 for x. So f pi over 3 is the cos pi over 3, which is cos 60, which should be a half. And we got a half. Alright. When you make sure your calculator's in radian mode, so you go shift setup, you go angle unit, and you go for radians, and then you just do cos pi over 3. How quickly you forget, and you get a half. Is that alright? Grand. Okay. So g using the f function, so g blank equals 1 minus 2 times blank. F function is the input, so x squared plus 1, x squared plus 1. We should get and that'll be minus 2x squared minus 2, so it's going to be, then we get minus 2x squared minus 1. Okay, so that's the answer for g f of x. Now the answer for f g of x is going to be, you're going to use the f function, which is something squared plus 1. And the g function is 1 minus 2x is what we're going to put in here. We're going to square that out. We're going to get 1 minus 4x plus 4x squared plus 1. And then we get 4x squared minus 4x plus 2. Is that what you guys got? Alright. Now, it goes, what property of operations does your result suggest, okay? So, properties of operations are, you would have remembered doing sets in junior cert level about commutative, and so commutative will be, I'll give you an example of commutative. Addition is commutative. 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2. Multiplication is commutative. 2 multiplied by 3 is the same thing as 3 multiplied by 2. In sets, A intersection B is the same thing as B intersection a. They're both the middle part, aren't they? But in this case, f g of x is not the same as g f of x. By changing the order, it affects the outcome. An example would be division or subtraction. Is 2 minus 3 the same thing as 3 minus 2? No. Subtraction is not commutative, okay? So it's not commutative. Go. That was easy. Let's keep going. I'm going to do this one now myself. Alright. So, HGF means do the g function. The g function is whatever the input is, take away 4. The input is fx, and fx is 3. So you have 3x, 3x. So this means g3x equals 3x minus 4. Okay. Then you can get rid of the gfx section, and you know that's 3x minus 4. Put it into the h function. The h function is whatever the input is cubed, and you straight away know that it's 3x minus 4, and that's 3x minus 4 to be cubed, and that is identical to px. Is that alright with you guys? Any questions? You good? Alright. 15. For question 15, lads, use what you've discovered in question 14 to perform each of these operations. Ouch. Let's pause this for a minute. Alright guys, get this, alright? Hx is the same thing as a function, f, that uses g as its input. Okay? Now here's what I'm thinking. Imagine the function f is squared. Yeah? So imagine fx is input, whatever the input is, square it. Do you get what I'm saying? What is the input? Gx. So what can I call gx in this case? 3x minus 1. Would these two functions combine to make 3x minus 1 squared when I go through it from the beginning? Check it out. Alright? What is f of the g function would be squared using the g function. That's what they want you to do. They sort of want you to go backwards. So in question 14, we discovered that this function is the same as these three functions combined. So what they want us to do is to give us px, and they want us to deconstruct it into 2 or 3 different functions. Alright, let's try another one out, alright? Let's try part 2 out. How many functions is it equal to? 1 or 2? 2 different parts, right? So it's 1 over 5x plus 3. See that? So I could say 1 over blank equals g or f. Which function do I do second? G or f? G happens second. So I'm going to say g blank equals 1 over blank. And now what can I say fx should be? 5x plus 3. Now think about it. Okay? What does this mean? It means g fx. So do the g function using fx. And do you get the same answer then? You get 1 over 5x plus 3. You're just deconstructing it into 2 different parts. Okay? Do you guys want to try 3 and 4 on your own? I'll give you about 3 or 4 minutes.
Not really want to do it.
Alright. Would you all agree it's squared? That makes sense? So, which is the last function? F, G or K? F. The last thing I think we should do is square it. So F blank equals blank squared. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to say is fx equals x squared. Are we all right in that front? Okay. Now, we also have sine there, don't we? So what could I say g is? G blank equals sine blank. So basically, gx is sine x, okay? We don't have sine x, so what do we have? 3x. And what's the last letter? K. Why don't I say kx equals 3x, right? So k blank equals 3 blank. Now get this. You're meant to use x as your input, aren't you? So do kx first, no bother. X here, x here. Cool with that? So kx becomes 3x. Input that into G. 3x here and 3x here. Input that into F. Put sine 3x here and sine 3x here. And is it the same thing? The square goes on the inside and you're done. You may need to do these again with video assist later on.